As you all know, I had a scholarship to play at George Mason University, but lost it due to an unfortunate injury to my shoulder. However, when receiving my acceptance letter from Mason, they had also invited me to enter the Cornerstone program. I had no idea what it was at the time, but my mother was telling me that I should do it. Upon doing some research, I found out that it was different than the traditional program, which the majority of students at Mason are a part of. Keep in mind that at this current point in my life, the only thing on my mind was baseball. I had no idea what I wanted to do had my career gone south, which of course it did. As a freshman in college, the only real benefit I felt that the Cornerstone program gave me was an amazing schedule and that it got rid of my gen eds. Instead of having to take English, IT, and globalization classes like most of my friends, I had class Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9:30 to 3:30, a pretty close resemblance to a typical high school day. In terms of overall knowledge gained from a year of being in the Cornerstone program, I definitely expected a lot more. I really liked the fact that classes were small, so it was easier to learn and interact with teachers as well as the students, but very frequently I felt like I was wasting my time because I felt like the stuff we were being taught wasn't really relevant. I will say that I did learn a couple important things though. The fact that in the majority of NCLC courses, papers replace exams, so you really get to work on your writing skills and your ability to construct well-written papers. When it was time to register for classes for the following year, a lot of my close friends from the Cornerstone program were not going to continue with the NCC program. I truly did not want to either, but at the time I was floating towards studying physical therapy, which is not a major offered at George Mason University. If you want to pursue pre-med, or in this case pre-PT, you must do it through the NCC program. So although my close friends were leaving the program and I myself didn't want to stay, I had no choice unless I could have thought of what I wanted to do for the rest of my life on the spot, which did not happen. I never would have thought this 4 years ago, but to this very day I'm so grateful for having stuck with the NCC program. Two of my favorite classes that I've taken at Mason are NCC courses, NCLC 375 and NCLC 244. NCLC 375 was called Applied Leadership. This was my favorite class at Mason because of how it was ran and because of the teacher. It was one of those classes that I really look forward to week in and week out. This course showed you how to apply leadership in various ways and also taught us about life after college. Our professor really harped on the little things you need to do in life to be successful and respected in your workplace. NCLC 244 was called Beats, Rhymes, and Culture. This class was very entertaining and very knowledgeable at the same time. The class was basically a hip hop history class. It's funny because I'm a huge fan of hip hop music, but I didn't really know the history of it and some of its roots. This class got very in depth, which I was not expecting, and the projects were very fun. Although the class was entertaining, there was no pushover, which is something I really respected about the class. I highly recommend that students who are in the Cornerstone program their freshman year stick with the NCC program. I understand many people don't want to stick with it after their first year, but that first year does not reflect the entirety of the NCC program. NCC offers numerous classes with topics ranging from opposite sides of the spectrum. I already mentioned Applied Leadership and Beats, Rhymes, and Culture as two classes, but other classes provided by NCC are Childhood Studies, Conflict, Trauma, and Healing, Poverty, Wealth, and Inequality in the United States, and Conscientious Meaning and Life Purpose. For students that weren't in the Cornerstones program or who aren't in the NCC program, I highly recommend taking a couple of NCC courses. For people who are in need of electives, NCC courses are a perfect fit. When you take electives, you don't want that to be a boring class or some class you took just because you have friends in it and hope to obtain a good grade. If I were searching for an elective, I would want to take a class that I find highly interesting. Also, if most of your classes are big lectures, you will really enjoy NCC classes. The fact that you don't have to stress about exams takes a weight off your shoulder. And the fact that each class is relatively small compared to most classes, you have the chance to really be involved within the class and have the opportunity to voice your opinion. I also find it easier to learn and be attentive when a class is discussion-based rather than lecture-based. I honestly feel like NCC has helped to prepare me for the future. The career path I finally decided on taking is to become a physician's assistant, which in today's day is an unofficial doctor. You need to be able to relate and communicate properly with everyone, otherwise you will not last long in this field. I think this area is something that NCC has helped to develop. I know I've already said this, but the ability for students to constantly interact and constructively criticize in NCC classes enhances social skills, especially after doing it for 4 years. I really hope the NCC program continues to build and that more students take advantage of the wonderful opportunity.